Okay, we are live. CommonwealthSportsBetting.com. www.commonwealthsportsbetting.com. Find us on Twitter at CW Sports Betting. April 14th, 2023, Friday. Hope everybody had a good week out there. Hope you got nice, fun plans for the weekend. Maybe catch a ball game, get out in the sun wherever you're at. It's starting to warm up everywhere. So I hope you're having, have some good plans and enjoy yourself this weekend and your time off. Talking some baseball real quick. We'll go over last night. I gave you a beauty. I gave you the comp selection. It was Detroit, Toronto over 9. It did not go over 9. So in a previous show, we had talked a little bit about always grading your plays, win, lose, or draw. So that kind of helps you as a handicapper to see, am I missing something fundamental that's causing me my handicaps to fall short, or am I getting beat by random variance, or you can come up with a lot of different conclusions. As I mentioned in the earlier show, I found a subset of a stat that actually was a great indicator. So that can happen too, right? You can have the revelation of uncovering something that you hadn't found previously. So I went back and graded that one like I do every play, win, lose, or draw. Here's some interesting stats for you on that Tigers-Blue Jays game, okay? We were trying to hit the over 9. Toronto Blue Jays had 20, individually left on base. Okay, and there was 11 of those by their 4, 5, and 6 hitters. So they left 20. The Tigers did a little better than that. They left 28 runners on base. Their 1 through 6 hitters left 20 of the 28 on base. I would say you don't have to be much of a baseball expert to say the 1 through 6 hitters are generally your best hitters in the lineup, and they obviously did not get it done. Team left on base was 11 for Detroit in that game. And they went 2 for 14 with runners in scoring position. So let's look at the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays did 1 for 12. 1 for 12. That's good. That's real. When you're looking for an over, you definitely want to see 1 for 12 with your runners in scoring position, because runners in scoring position are the ones that are kind of supposed to score, and you need runs. So and they had a team left on base of 8. So again, we take the L there, but we don't reinvent the wheel. Okay, I'm not going to go back and go, oh my God, I'm handicapping terrible. I took over 9. The game landed on whatever it was, 4. Yeah, 4. I didn't really miss anything. It's just, that's baseball. And that's why, we preach discipline. We preach bankroll management. Don't chase losses. Stay with your handicapping method, but be light on your feet. So that's a quick review of last night's comp play, and also kind of recover some information from an earlier show on grading your own plays afterwards, win, lose, or draw. Just a quick topic today is I did have somebody contact me via DM, and they were asking about yesterday's show, shrinking your data pool, know more about, know way more about less teams if need be, than just knowing a little bit about a lot of teams. So focus, narrow down your data pool, so to speak, if you need to, if you have time constraints or you're finding the data too overwhelming, because baseball is one of those sports. So I did get a great message. They were like, I just get really good advice, but, I tend to just like to play a few more games. If I just cover a division, which is probably what I have the time to do, that's going to be a really limited bet number. I might only get a bet a night, maybe 2, on a good night where you find 2 really good, where you feel like you have really good value. So, that would be a drawback to it. And I said, well, actually, I think you just hit on the strength of it. And that's what we're going to talk about real quickly in about 3 minutes. Right now, we're going to talk about play correlation. Okay. So if you look at, let's just, for instance, you look at the NL Central. Okay. I'm generally, for examples, I'm going to use the NL Central. Shocker. Got the Bucco koozie, and Buccos with a big win last night. So anyways, we're going to look at the NL Central. Okay. And you see a spot where you see let's say it's an over in a Pittsburgh St. Louis game, since that's who's playing now. So you see this over, okay, and you're like 2 mid at best starters that have a little higher walk total. They tend to put guys on a little more. Maybe they're not adapting well to the pitch clock and some of the changes, whatever the case may be. You've handicapped it that you have mid pitchers and teams that are hitting the ball, seeing the ball well, and driving the ball, hitting a lot of hard balls, and a lot of hard contact, putting a lot of hard hit balls in play. So you've handicapped it. Great. Now you want to play the over. Okay. Say the over is 9.5 in that game. Okay. So you kind of look at the number, you look at the total, like you do in any game. That sort of leads you to a theoretical final, so to speak. So to get to that number, to get to that total, now you may be looking at, well, I'm expecting a ton of runs to be scored. I think 9.5 is soft. I think it should be 10.5. So that's, double digit runs. That puts both teams generally, or again, how do you see the game playing out? Well, I see both teams slugging, again, because you've really narrowed your data selection. So you're just looking so tight at that one division. You feel like you have a really good bead. Both teams are going to score a lot. So I want to go over. So there's your one play, right? Well, the gentleman that contacted me, that was his example, or what he was asking about. Well, that's one bet. I said, no. I said, you'll be so sharp on those two teams that you don't need to wire it down to one bet over 9.5. Now you go over 9.5 game, over St. Louis team total, over Pittsburgh team total, and over first five. You just turned, basically, if you feel like you've got the game pegged. Now, some people say, oh, it's crazy. You know what? It's actually not riskier than betting 4 individual baseball games. It's much harder to win 4 individual baseball games, and maybe it is for some, but for me, if I really feel like I'm dialed in on a game and I see it a definitive outcome based on the data I'm looking at, well, now I can just whittle it down to picking every piece of that game apart, one game, and pick it apart. And I can come out with 4 bets. The game goes, say the team totals are 4 and 5 or 4.5 and 5, whatever the case may be. So you play the over. The game goes 8-7 final. It was over the first half, flew over the first half. That was over by the third. You win both team totals. You win the game total. You just picked up 4 units by analyzing one baseball game. So that's a lot easier than analyzing an entire full day slate, Saturday, say, when every team's playing. So that's a little tip for you. I hope it helps. We always try to do a little something for you like that, but that was a great question he asked. He's kind of like, I just like to be in action a little bit more. And I'm like, well, here's how you can do that, and it's correlated plays. So we'll also try to plant that as a seed. I'm hoping, I don't know. I'm looking at Saturday games already, but over the weekend, if I can find a spot that lines up where I see, a correlated play possibility, I'll actually release that probably on my, because I may not release the whole correlation to our clients, but I may say, okay, well, this is what I could see a correlated spot here. And then we can talk about it on the video and I can explain why I see the game playing out like that. Okay. Correlated plays, a way to narrow your focus, narrow the time you spend and focus on a less number of games, but you can end up with, 2 to 4 correlated plays within the game. Bang, bang. If you're seeing it right, like hitters, if you're seeing it right, you're going to hit it hard. So little tip for you today. Comp selection for tonight. We're going up to Beantown, Fenway Park, not far from Harvard Yard, where you park the car. Anaheim Angels at Boston. It's Sandoval and Houck on the hill tonight. I picked this up last night, and to be honest, the line really hasn't moved much, but the market is certainly split on this game. The current I checked at about 5 o'clock before I came on Eastern. The current numbers I saw was the best number, if you're looking for Anaheim, the favorite anyways. Bookmaker had Anaheim minus 109, and if you were shopping at Caesars, you wanted Anaheim, you had to pay minus 120. So 109 to 120 market spread right now on Anaheim, the favorite, west to east. They did have a travel day built in there, so that's not a west, as most of the times they try to anyways. Either that or they'll get on the coast and stay on the coast. But so they're not, obviously shouldn't be worn down or tired out through 12, 14 games or whatever they played. So I really didn't rate travel much in here. I had Boston, as most people have heard some of the videos, but I was a little lower on Boston in general this year than the market pricing seemed to be. Excuse me. So anyways, Anaheim, and we're looking at Sandoval and Houck. So what I really see here is I see kind of advantages on multiple levels for Anaheim. I thought this line should have maybe been 120 to 125 is what I had it handicapped at. Sandoval is a pitcher that's been a left-hander. It's been improving yearly. Last year he had 11 quality starts. Again, in modern baseball, quality start is the modern day equivalent to a complete game almost, or 8 strong. It's quality start now is just that. It's a quality start in today's game. So he hit 11 of them last year, and I think it's continuing to trend that way. And that number, his numbers have gotten better every year, Sandoval, for Anaheim. Houck, on the other hand, has a slightly shorter career sample than Sandoval, but Houck has 2 quality starts in his career. So I think, clearly, the data shows. I can go into a bunch of other stuff, but I'm not going to stay on here for 30 minutes telling you all the data points I picked and pulled at to get to this play. But in my opinion, you have a pitching advantage for Anaheim. I think you have an offensive advantage pretty clearly for Anaheim. I don't think I need to get into the names in their lineup. And so the other keynote was Sandoval career March and April, 0.69 ERA in March and April. And I could go into the BABIP and the FIP and the XFIP and the WOBA and the XWOBA, whatever. He's a good pitcher in March and April on his career numbers. Houck, on the other hand, a 3.46 ERA in those same 2 months of March and April. And Houck also has a higher ERA at home career-wise than he does on the road, which Boston is in Boston tonight. So that landed me on what I thought was a 10 to 15 cent cheap number on Anaheim. I actually expected it to go up. Caesars being at 120 is more what I think is a better market price. But again, the market dictates the price. And right now it's you can get it at 110. I think like I said, bookmaker had it at 109. So if you want to get it, you can get it for $1 less than I paid last night. That's Anaheim Angels. I played minus 110 against Boston tonight. That's your comp selection. Over the weekend, 12:45 start time Saturday and Sunday for the Commonwealth Sports Show. We're daily on Twitter. Our DMs are open at Ray Gray Fox, at Best Pie Bets, and at CW Sports Betting. Again, the website, www.commonwealthsportsbetting.com. There's plenty of information on there, plenty of other ways to contact us if you don't want to come at us over social media. We're happy to talk to you. We're happy to help. Hit us up. Ask us questions. We'll tell you anything but the card we put out tonight, for our people. So anyways, I hope everybody has a great Friday night. If you like a cool beverage on a warming evening, I hope you're enjoying that, if that's your take. So, but everybody be safe. Take care. We will be back with you tomorrow, Saturday. We will be back at 12:45 Eastern, covering some baseball, giving some plays, and hopefully finding a correlated play on the weekend's card for the Louisville viewers. So y'all have a great night. Have a great start to your weekend. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Take care.